Welcome in, Slumpbusters. We got the final divisional round matchup to preview for you, and we have our guest, Aaron Grayson III, or AG3, called on the High Score 510 podcast. A former guest of the show, happy to have him back. But for the purposes of this podcast, you can look at him as a Rams super fan representing his team. AG3, how's it going today, man?
Going good. It's doing really well. Thank you for having me.
I guess the first question I got to ask you out the gate here is Matthew Stafford, big time playoff game. What is your level of trust heading into this one against the GOAT?
Oh man, trust level is, it's about the same level I have trusting my little dog here to be able to go warm up my car when I wake up in the morning and have it ready for me. Matthew Stafford. Oh God, I'm worried. It's slightly higher. Just to be quick, just to give a quick answer. It's slightly higher because of his performance last game. It's still not that high. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I really trust him. I'm at a 5 right now. He worked his way up to a 5.
That's good, I guess. One playoff win will help move the number up ever so slightly. Like one win against Arizona, and you're starting to get that little boost there. The thing I find interesting with the Rams in the second half of the season, and maybe this helps Stafford a little bit, but Odell Beckham has emerged as an awesome second receiver, as kind of like filling the Robert Woods role. And I've said before that I really hope Odell comes back so we can see Kupp, Woods, and him together in that offense. But what do you make of that going into the game? Because obviously we know Tampa's rush defense, ridiculously good. The Rams have surprisingly been a pass-heavy team this year. So what do you make of Odell and even Cooper Kupp mixed in there going into this game?
I think he's starting to surge at the right time, Odell Beckham. I think it's also it's probably 14 to 16 months removed from his ACL tear, which also I think helped from his injury. It gave him more time to heal, and he looks good. He looks very healthy. He looks like he's obviously getting involved. He's getting, if you looked at those first few weeks, he was just running the same patterns over and over. You could tell he didn't know the offense yet. I think now they're starting to get some chemistry with him, Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp. And so, and I was disappointed when they first signed him and Robert Woods got hurt, because they signed him right after Van Jefferson dropped 2 touchdowns and a loss. And they signed Odell Beckham that week so he could take over kind of the Van Jefferson role and be that more deep threat. But it just all works out how it works out. And I'm excited for him.
OBJ isn't the only win now move that the Rams made this year. They went out and also traded for Von Miller, and Von has 5 sacks in 5 straight games. Can you speak to what a difference maker he's been for the defense?
He's been a big difference maker. And he's not like the Von Miller of the year they beat Carolina in Super Bowl, where he just totally dominated a game. But now he gives some more pressure from the other side. And they're asking him to do a little bit more. Like I saw him in coverage a little bit last game against Arizona. That could be because Arizona also will attack with different formations and a lot of multi-receivers. Same as the Bucs. But it's nice to have that outside pressure. Aaron Donald always brings on the inside pressure right in front of the quarterback. And you have Leonard Floyd on the other side, who's great, maybe not as consistent as a Donald, but he does put pressure. But having Von Miller there, I think his leadership provides so much more for that defense.
Well, one of the things I also found interesting was the Rams lost Troy Hill. They lost John Johnson in free agency. They chose to keep Leonard Floyd, which I thought was a questionable move at the beginning, because they've been successful at interchanging those types of players. But it's worked out quite a bit this year, and I'm interested to see, because we know Tampa Bay is going to be down 2 offensive linemen, it looks like. I know Wirfs might play, but he also has a broken foot and is going to try and play on 1 week, which is absolutely insane. But do you think that going into this game, the key, if they're going to be able to put pressure on, is then to have Jalen Ramsey shadow Mike Evans, or do they kind of play more of a zone type scheme against the Bucs receivers?
Their zone type scheme just doesn't work that well. Like the loss to 49ers was when they went with a lot of zone heavy, especially because they were up. I hope that it's more like the Ramsey shadowing Mike Evans. Tampa Bay lost a lot of speed. They still have Scotty Miller who's fast. They lost Grayson, who was really the speedster of the team, with AD gone and him gone. It's a lot of speed. So I'm hoping they don't zone. They don't have to zone. They could get pressure with Aaron Donald. I mean, everything's working out so far off the field to work a little bit in the Rams' favor to help out. You're going into Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, he's unfazed by everything. So hopefully it's the shadowing. I hope it's the shadowing.
You say he's unfazed, and yet he hasn't been unfazed the last couple times that Tampa Bay has faced the Rams. In fact, you guys beat him on Monday Night Football last year in their championship season, and then beat him earlier this season And then even going back to the Super Bowl where New England faced the Rams, they even did a great job on Tom Brady there. What is it about this Rams team that seems to play so well against Tom Brady?
I think they just match up well. I think also the inside pressure. Tom Brady, when he lost, if you think about the Super Bowls he lost, the 2 to the Giants, the 1 to Philadelphia, he faced a lot of inside pressure, whether it was Justin Tuck or whoever the Giants had the first couple of years, the first season in the Super Bowl. Inside pressure seems to bother him more than edge rushers. And I think Aaron Donald lining up and the pressure that he brings and the more he can open up for the other tackles or defensive ends to get inside. It seems to be that's the thing that hurts Tom Brady the most. I mean, the Saints are the same way this year. Like they can create a lot of inside pressure. It's not just a lot of edge rushers. Edge rushers, you can always step up in the pocket. You could chip, you could come a little wide. But if you could constantly keep the pressure in their face in front, it changes the game.
That comment about those Giants teams made me smile because it reminded me of O.C. Umenyiore. And
Yes.
Anytime I can think of that, it's wonderful to think about those old timey Giants teams when I was a kid because those teams were fun on defense.
They were.
The question I have for you in relation to that defense and getting pressure with 4, which again is the key to winning most football games, is if you can get pressure with 4. How many turnovers do they force of Tom Brady in order to win the game?
Oh, Tom Brady, not even total.
Of Tom Brady.
Well, how many did he have against Green Bay last year? 3 in the NFC Championship game. He had 3 picks and they still lost. I think you get 1. Tom Brady, you're hoping for 1. It's like MLB. I remember who was it? Barry Bonds say, whenever you go against a good pitcher, like you go 1 for 4 against Maddox, you won, right? 1 for 5, I won against Maddox, right? And so I see it that way. You go against Tom Brady, you get 1 pick. That's what you're hoping your defense can do. Get that 1 turnover. Anything else is a bonus.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into it. Let's put our final predictions on this game. Kyle Ledbetter, why don't you start us off on this one?
Ooh, this one was fun. This one was fun to go back and forth on. It's not quite the coin flip game I did between the Bengals and Titans. It's not quite that random. I do think Tampa is a better team on paper. I know they've lost players to injury this year, and obviously they're now down 2 more offensive linemen, 3 wide receivers. The secondary has gotten healthier for them, which I think is going to be a big deal because of the fact that the Rams are probably going to be really pass heavy. Again, the thing I've cited all season is the Rams were one of 4 teams that had a winning record this year that lost time of possession for an entire season. They held the ball fewer than 30 minutes on the season, 60-minute game, etc. So the Rams will play into that strength, I assume, because Tampa Bay has one of the best rush defenses of the last 10 years. So if the Rams play into that, it falls on Matthew Stafford. It's difficult to figure out which Matthew Stafford is going to show up. I've heard the Matthew Gofford jokes. I didn't understand it until, about partway through this season. So in the spirit of being an analyst, I'm going to go chalk here and say I have Tampa Bay winning this game, and I have Tampa Bay winning this game by about 4 points, which is ever so slightly more than what the spread is. And I feel like the spread kind of reflects what it is. Tampa Bay is playing at home. They're a slightly better team than the Rams on paper. It's a little bit of a cop-out, but I think that's about appropriate for this game, is that Tampa Bay is going to win by just a little bit. Might come down to the end. They might have a 2-score lead and the Rams score a garbage time touchdown or something, but I feel like Tampa is going to get ahead early, control, and probably win, even if it's going to look a lot closer. I think Tampa probably controls the game, even if the score looks close at the end.
All righty, AG3, this is your opportunity to defend your team. Are they going to go into Tampa Bay and win that game?
Being a fan, I mean, realistic. Okay, but if I pick my head, I don't think a team can beat Tom Brady twice in one season, even though the Saints did it, right? The Saints showed they can do it. But I'm going to have to, I've been horrible at making predictions this playoff so far, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stick to my heart. Rams by 3. There's no way they're going up a touchdown to Tom Brady. Rams by 3, and that takes a lot. It's going to take some magic and some luck.
For the 4th straight preview, I think my suit gives away my pick here. Yes, I am going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because when I just say this sentence out loud, it just sounds ridiculous. Matthew Stafford went on the road and beat Tom Brady in a playoff matchup. I think not. I think not. I think that's the most unlikely of outcomes here. But I will say it is concerning how banged up Tampa Bay is. And I think that might hurt them in the long term of going after the Super Bowl run that they're after, their repeat Super Bowl championship. But when I think about like Matthew Stafford and I think about what happened in that last game, I think it was unstoppable force meets immovable object when it comes to who was going to choke first between Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford. It just happened that Kyler Murray had to be the one that had to bite the bullet on that one. And Matthew Stafford, who had thrown 7 interceptions in his previous 70 dropbacks, happened to go into that one with the advantage. Kudos, you get to face Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray in round 1. That's a great way to advance to the divisional round. I'm going to stick with the Buccaneers. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comments below. Who are you picking to win this game? Is it going to be Rams house in Tampa? Or are you sticking with Tampa Bay? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. Helps the channel. Helps us get out there to more people like yourself who love sports. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as we're closing in on 2,000 subscribers, guys. Once again, Kyle Ledbetter, my co-host. AG3, go ahead and check him out on High Score 510 on IG. Go ahead and check out all their fantastic content. Have great conversations you do every day. And we're definitely going to have these guys back on the podcast soon. From Juju Talk Sports, stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you on the next one.